Well, that music sums up everything going on right now. Oh, what is happening, Robot Wars, BattleBots, and BuggleBots fans alike? Hardcore Kid here with another episode of the Hardcore Podcast. BuggleBots registration has officially closed. Mondo Bizarro sadly didn't qualify, so no England trip for us, Nate.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, better luck next time.
Hey, it gives me more time to save up for my much wanted road trip to Tennessee.
Ooh, where are you going to Tennessee for?
Well, I want to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Memphis, Nashville, and Dollywood.
Dollywood.
And the Great Smokies.
Yeah, and since I'm not signed up for BuggleBots, my next robot event is going to be the Colossal Con event in Sandusky, Ohio. I competed last year, and Mondo Bizarro took first after chucking Captain Doom out of the arena. So nice. I'm gonna have fun going back there. But of course, we can't forget about our guest joining us. He just came back from Arizona, and he's in the middle of uploading his Resettis Wars series on YouTube. It's ResettisReplicas.
Howdy. I got a lot more free time on my hands since I also didn't get into BuggleBots.
Yeah, it sucks. You know what? When season 3? Come on, Sarah. When season 3?
Yeah, I didn't want to bother her because she was at BattleBots, but
yeah.
Hey, you just got home now.
Great. Yeah, so
Craig Danby says he cried on the plane ride home. Maybe he actually won a fight.
Maybe he actually won the giant nut.
Oh man, how hilarious would that be?
Yeah,
I'd watch it. It would be like Survivor Gabon.
Certainly be much more entertaining than this episode we were reviewing tonight. It's Heat H, the last heat of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, and look, now I've seen all of Extreme Warriors Season 2, and I can kind of see where people say it's kind of a step down when you compare it to like the UK series, because not a whole lot happens in this series aside from maybe Heat D, where you had revolutionists just smashing into everything. Because in all the other heats, it's mostly just ram fights or robots that just don't work. And hell, the last episode ended in a one-hit KO, and it wasn't even that a good hit. So this episode, and then you have this episode where you have 6 robots. None of them really have any particularly good weapons. You had a spinning blade powered by a wheelchair motor. You have a frickin' sledgehammer that I assume is powered by gravity. You have a sideways flipper, which kind of works, I guess. And then you have a jaw that really doesn't have a whole lot of reach to it. And then you have a forward flipper that is made out of checkered plated aluminum that bends up. So, truly A+ quality engineering in these. This episode was cack. This episode was, it's the final heat curse. You know, like how the last heat of a lot of Robot Wars series always have a lot of low tier robots,
or just generally boring.
Yeah, this episode was no good at all. And it's and especially when you consider it is a good episode if you enjoyed the Nickelodeon Robot Wars series, because there's 3 robots that competed in that series, including the champion. So I don't even know, but even before we get into actually talking about this episode, like right at the start, Mick Foley
I was gonna say that. I was gonna mention that. Because
Mick Foley is cutting his promo. Yeah, go ahead, Nate. Say it.
Mick Foley, he throws shade at Robotica. We got no mazes or obstacle courses. I don't know why I sound like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo all of a sudden.
You know what? I would love to see robots like Bunny Attack or frickin' Xylon going through the labyrinth, because they would probably do better here than they did here. Oh my goodness. But if there was any more prime example of how miserable this episode is, for whatever reason, the producers just decided to give the house robot introduction in the last episode for some reason. Why? Like, you didn't introduce them in the first episode?
Because we need to kill some time, damn it!
Yep.
There's time to kill. The matches didn't. The matches lasted about as long as any average match you'd see in this episode. So I don't know, but
well, I mean, when you chop it down to just the good footage, that's not a lot of runtime.
What good footage? Yeah, but we might as well talk about the robots themselves, and we'll start off with the heat finner, Falcon Mark II.
Falcon Mark II, Lifter.
Yes, this is the successor to Falcon from Season 1, which was slow, had an axe that didn't do anything, and now you have this version of Falcon, which, to be fair, it's a decent wedge, and the lifter, it's not pneumatic powered. It's not like Chaos 2 size power, but it kind of worked.
It's
I will
more
say,
like the Big Cheese's lifter if it was smaller.
Yeah, I'll give it credit. At least it worked. It's probably one of the only weapons in this episode that actually was used effectively. And who the heck was this new guy they have on the team?
I don't know, man. I gotta say, as boring and I don't want to. What's the word?
Unoriginal.
Impractical as Falcon is, I love the team.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying. They're trying to be kind of like the Plunderbird Boys, where they have this tough guy attitude, and they're always getting on Mick Foley's case. I'm trying to think what wrestler he reminds me of. I guess it's Robert Malone. Mullen, I think, is the guy who's driving. He kind of reminds me of he's sort of like a less charismatic Macho Man with the.
I was gonna say with that getup, he looks more like Road Dogg.
Yeah, kind of like that, but yeah.
Yo ass better call somebody.
Yeah. Or I just realized he's X-Pac. He kind of reminds me of X-Pac if he had a Road Dogg's gimmick a bit, didn't he? With the hair and the attitude and stuff.
Make some noise.
Yeah, that's Shaggy again.
Not even.
Nah, it's Kevin from the Attitude Era podcast doing X-Pac.
Oh, dear God. That's X-Pac turn the channel heat right there. Yeah, if out of all 6 machines in this robot, this one was definitely going to win. That's all we can really say about it. And it's good to see it actually win, because the first version never won a match. This version actually, but now they come in with this improved version, and it was able to just bulldoze its way through to the grand final, and good for them. At least they didn't fight any flippers here, because weakness, no self-righting mechanism.
Yeah, as I said, it doesn't have that. Even if it was pneumatically powered, I don't think it could flip itself back up onto its wheels, mostly because of its shape. Like the back part of it is way too steep for it to get back up on its wheels. And
for whatever reason, it's got those silly spikes on the back.
I guess so. It can't land on its back.
I don't know. What do you think of Falcon Mark II, Ian? Mark.
Well, I don't understand why, when given the choice between being hated or loved by the audience, anyone would choose hated.
I don't know. So, you know what? I've talked to some wrestling industry. They love to play heel. So if they want to be heel, then they're the heels of this episode.
I mean, I guess the difference being the size of their paychecks. Like, I mean, I can understand being paid to be like that, but doing it just for laughs, I don't get.
Yeah, but that's the Falcon. Unfortunately, we never get to see Falcon versus Plunderbird, or Falcon versus Xylon, for that matter, which would have been an interesting crossover. But we'll move on to the Heat finalist. To think that this robot is one of only 2 U.S. champions in Robot Wars history is astounding. It's Tyrannobot.
Tyrannobot. T-Rex.
Yeah.
How funny is it that this robot was more effective without its crusher than when it had a crusher?
Yeah, it's weird. I think they were having control issues. I don't know if it was because of the tail at the back or not, but as soon as they lost both the jaw and the tail, then it was just an effective brick. I don't know, but this robot, I will say this, if I can give one positive, I like the paper tail it's got on the back.
Yeah.
It's like Ed Robinson always says, your robot has to have a tail to it, or something. And yeah, I'm still trying to think. Was it made out of newspaper or something?
Looks like it's made out of felt.
I don't know. The first one, I think the second one was like paper or some kind of wacky decoration they had there. As far as the weapon goes, I don't know if they were having again signal issues, because I only recall the jaw actually moving twice in this entire episode. Once was in the first round when it was trying to lift up Xylon, and again when it actually managed to get a hold of Falcon. Other than that, the jaw really didn't do anything. And spoiler alert, they never act. If you watch it in the Nickelodeon series, they never use the jaw once. It's all pushing power. Which, to be fair, like, this thing does have good pushing power, but they really could have done a better job with the weapon. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, as I said, I feel that it was a lot more effective without the weapon than when it had, because with the jaw, which is just pushing opponents away from the front that has actual push to it. If you take the jaw away, you just got that little front and you stick a wedge on there, boom, effective 4-wheel push bot.
Yeah, it's like Crusher bots of this type, they're not always the most effective, and I think because some say that Tyrannobot's jaw is too small. Meanwhile, you look at this thing up close in the pits. This thing is enormous. Like, it's got to be about the size of my arms right now.
It's missing something. It's missing something to get robots into its crushing beak. A little something called a wedge.
Yeah, you know. But you know what? Ivan Loftus, I actually got a comment from him on the YouTube page. He still has the jaws with him.
Sweet.
But he says he has been thinking of getting into the back into the robot combat scene. So, I don't know. What do you think of Tyrannobot, Ian?
Well, I think when I was a kid, I had a wooden alligator that kind of looked like Tyrannobot's jaw.
You still have it with you?
No.
You probably could. You put it on the front of quicksand. You could probably make a jaw out of that. Yeah. But yeah, not much else to say about Tyrannobot. It's one of only 2 U.S. champions in existence since it won the Nickelodeon series. Spoiler alert, but you know what? I think everybody's seen the Nickelodeon series at this point.
Everyone who wants to.
I don't know. But speaking of Nickelodeon, anyone who wants to, i.e. nobody. I don't know, because remember, for most people, including myself, the Nickelodeon series was the first series that a lot of robot builders watched. Like when I first started watching the show, this was the like the Nickelodeon series was what was on TV all the time, and yep. So so credit to. I hope to see Ivan Loftus back in the combat scene, maybe with a beetle weight. I don't know. A beetle weight version of Tyrannobot could work, because
I think so.
But we'll see what happens. So we'll move on. From your neck of the woods, Ian, from Frankton, Massachusetts, we have the white fluffy bunny attack.
Bunny attack! Look at the pretty bunny.
Yeah. I love this bot. The weapon is terrible, but it is just so funny to look at.
It's incredible, this thing, man. It's not incredible. It's
incredible.
I don't know, man. I mean, it would be a good comedy bot, but I mean, how do you have a furry robot that doesn't get set on fire?
It's very just good at not catching fire, it seems. Like even when Bash tried to set it on fire or go down the flame pit, it kind of singed it, but it just kept going anyway.
Yeah, it's just next time, like, put like some lighter fluid on there or something ahead of time.
What are you trying to be, like Tiger Cat?
No, like Dietor.
I think I think they just put it on there just for character type, because I don't know. And are these the kids driving? Are these like the only kid drivers in this entire show?
I suppose if you don't count Bigger Brother.
I mean, as far as Extreme Warriors
Oh,
goes,
right.
like the youngest, because I know Jerome Miles was 16. I don't, because these are like the youngest drivers I've seen driving. I guess because all the other kid drivers were on the Nickelodeon series. I don't know. Well, but to the people who love to make fun of Mr. Psycho's hammer for causing no damage, oh, oh, oh.
Well, see, at least that thing had some oomph behind
Yeah,
it. This is like a whack-a-mole mallet.
Yeah, it's like
using a whack-a-mole mallet on solid tungsten.
Yeah, and
just this bonk,
bonk, bonk,
bonk. Nelly is stronger than this.
Oh, yeah? Hey, don't be disparaging Nelly.
Yeah, how dare you?
No. I'm saying, Nelly could legitimately beat the crap out of this
You
thing.
haven't seen Nelly in action yet, have you? Aside from maybe the hits.
No, I've seen test footage. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nelly, next BattleBots champion. I'm telling you right now. Ian, what do you think of the bunny attack?
Well, I've been meaning to say there's actually no such town as Frayington, Massachusetts. I really don't know what happened with his notes.
I think is it supposed to be like Farmington or something?
The closest that we have is Framingham. There's no Framington, Massachusetts.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the audio again.
Oh yeah, I've listened before. I have no idea what he's trying to say.
Well, keep in mind, Phantasm is also allegedly from Baldwin in Montana, which is actually Missouri.
If that is the only robot from Montana,
I think they're from
Missouri.
Oh, well, Missouri has to have better robots, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're actually from somewhere near St. Louis, because they have this video where they go around encouraging everyone to say "Hi, St. Louis," and I thought that's weird.
I went on the.
You wait.
I checked the robots from the U.S. state of Missouri. And there's two robots. One is Phantasm. The other is Prometheus from the First World Champion.
Oh God!
God damn! Bad times to be Missouri.
When New Jersey outclasses you in robots.
Why? They've got me.
And Al Kindle.
Yeah, but like Bunny Attack, yeah, it's hilarious. It's surprisingly successful. It only has 2 losses, and it probably would have made it to the Heat final if it didn't drive into the pit. Just think about that.
Oh my God!
Tyranna pushed
funny.
it. Did it drive in?
It kind of.
No, it looks more like Bunny Attack. After Tyrannobot nudged it, it just drove forward right into the pit.
Because we can't go a single episode without a bot going full read. Yeah, but we'll move on to down the list. From the guy that gave us Flippa in Series 7, we have Buzz.
Speed bump.
Yeah, Joseph Morosky, I know he gets a lot of heat for his performance in the Flippa Spartacus fight in Series 7, but you know what? He has built a lot of robots, and a little fun fact, the first time I came to Motorama was in 2006. He actually took second with Creepy Crawler in the Beetleweight class. So,
oh, nice.
Good things are ahead for him. As far as Buzz goes, I will say it's better than Flippa. Because it actually moves.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those generic Creator robots from Robot Wars Arenas of Destruction.
Yeah, you got the little eyes he's sticking on there.
Yeah, with the eyes. It's the eyes.
And a little sideways design. The Flipper design is interesting. I mean, this was obviously before Lightning, so nobody had ever actually seen a Flipper that goes sideways like that. So.
The thing is that Lightning had the shape for a Flipper.
Yeah, the big problem with Buzz is that the wedge just seems to be too steep, because it seemed like you couldn't get under the
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Even at the side, I can tell that wedge is way too steep. It's a concave wedge, also, from the shape, not a convex wedge.
Also, it really looks like the drum at the back was just an afterthought, because it's built too far into the wedge, so that drum wasn't going to hit anything. And I think if you took the drum out, this thing only weighs maybe 150 pounds. This is a genuine middleweight with some extra weaponry stuck on it.
It's a convex shape, not a concave. I got my terms mixed
Yeah,
up.
I was gonna say convex is a nice, good scoop.
Damn it, we got to go back to math class. What do you think of Buzz, Ian?
I think it's one of the more creative ones here, with that dual weapon, dual wedge, which I've tried and failed myself, but it's remarkable to see other people do it.
Yeah, it has a drum too. We forgot to mention it. A drum that never got used.
Yeah, I just mentioned the drum. Like it's built too far into the robot. And I guess it was just added there as an afterthought, sort of like how the drum was added into Flippa. Yeah. I think I would have, I think Buzz could have made it to the Heat final, given the status of the robots here, but it just had bad luck. It got especially bad luck in the House Robot Rebellion, where it got screwed basically, and it got screwed in Series 7 after the U2 guys yanked out their aerial. It's like, come on, man, cut this guy a break. But
wait, I did not hear this.
Yeah, there's apparently when you know why Flippa didn't make it to the second round of the Annihilator in Series 7. U2 apparently pushed their aerial out of the way, and the aerial popped right out of the robot.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, bad. That happens, but at least Buzz won a match. So, and it really was one of the best design bots of this episode. But
that's debatable.
Hey, it's not easy to have a robot that has two weapons built into it. A flipper and a spinner. That's well done. What's not well done are these first round finishers, which are prime examples of what materials not to use when you're constructing such machines. And we'll start off with the most epic fail of a spinner I've ever seen, Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan. Pinwheel. Oh my god, this bot. Can I just say this? From a design standpoint, this robot looks fine. It's a nice four-wheel bot with plenty of push, and a weapon actually looks deadly if it could actually get spinning. And then you learn that it's powered by a wheelchair motor.
Yeah, and if you want any proof, right after it loses the disc in the House Robot Rebellion, you can see the NPC motor sticking out. Look, NPC motors make good drive motors. That's why people are still using them today. Weapon motors, no. Like they couldn't get like I don't know. Is there I know E-Techs are expensive. Is there any like cheaper versions of motors they probably could have gotten a hold of?
I don't know what the meta would have been for spinner motors back in 2001.
Well, the meta was definitely E-Tech. Cuz Cyclone had it, Hyperactive had it, Nightmare, freaking Discotech had it. Like if you had the money, you can just take it and put it on there. But even the Paul Bunyan team had no faith in their weapon. Like they didn't even bother using it on the bots. They instead opted to use like the tiny little spike at the back. And I think what they're trying to do, remember the one of the new Thomas characters, Hugo? It has that giant propeller in the back.
Yeah.
I think what they were trying to do is use it to try and propel itself into the opponents.
Oh my god.
No.
What an uncool reference.
I don't know. Season 21's not bad. It's just when the characters start bouncing, then it gets bad.
No, season 22, you
Or
mean.
22. Yeah. No. Yeah, but yeah. This is this like as far as it would make a nice go-kart. It's got like the 4 go-kart wheels, and I don't know if they were having battery problems or something, because it looks like they were not moving well at all here.
Could have been receiver problems.
Yeah.
Didn't Russ say something about how they all had to like all of a sudden switch to UK receivers?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of this creation, Ian?
I think it's certainly a creative weapon that they got there.
Mm.
I mean, it's probably what they had to do to qualify.
Mm.
Like them and Tyrannobot, same thing. Like they had serviceable boxes, but they needed some sort of gimmick to get chosen.
Mm. I think now that I think about it, even if they were able to get an E-Tech for this blade, I don't. My thing is that blade would probably go flying off just because of how it's mounted. Because you know how those old finger tech weapon mounts that always break off. I think that probably could have happened with this. I mean they eventually do end up losing the weapon when Bash bit it off, but yeah, this robot is very pants. It's I agree with what you said before, Nate. It looks like a fidget spinner.
I said pinwheel.
It's a fidget spinner, pinwheel. What's the difference?
Well, pinwheel has 4 things and a fidget spinner has 3.
Yeah. You still have that fidget spinner on your desk, Nate?
I was playing with it earlier.
How dare you play with it earlier? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's Paul Bunyan. If Babe the Ox would not approve of it. It also would not approve of what Stefan Frank likes to call the cousin of Falcon Mark II, Xylon.
Xylon! Front-hinged flipper. Oh, God, Xylon. If you want to look up the guide on how not to build a flipper robot, Xylon would be the example used.
The best part is when Stefan is introducing this bot, he states that this robot has a flipper design unlike any we've ever seen in Robot Wars. Excuse me, Stefan?
Well,
do you not remember Firestorm from the World Championship?
In the U.S., man. In the U.S.
I don't know.
You have to think of it in that regard. I don't think Extreme Warrior Season 1 had a front-hinged flipper.
Yeah, that is true.
No, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if it's like Stefan Frank decided not to count the Extreme Warrior Season 1 with the World Championship, but either way, it's odd if you are a Robot Wars fan.
Now, as far as like forward flippers go, it's not a pneumatic flipper. It's more of like it looks like a servo powered flipper. Like it just flings open and shut really quickly. So it
looks like is it like powered by a camshaft or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Regardless, it really doesn't look like it has the flipping power to flip anything over. And unfortunately, it wasn't, and even if it could have, it wasn't able to in its only match, because right at the start of the match, it bangs right into the floor spinner, and the front wedge just peels in on itself.
Yeah.
Fuck that floor spinner.
That, by the way, is what would happen if it tried to run the labyrinth in Robotica.
Oof. Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to say about it, unfortunately. It's checker plate aluminum, which...
Can I just also say something about those stupid side skirts?
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, I understand that this is supposed to be like a wedge flipper, but though the fact that those side flaps aren't really welded onto the robot, that is just a recipe for trouble.
I think those were they were supposed to like design it like, because if it gets flipped over, it can kind of fling around and get itself
your
over.
Robot is a flipper. It can self-right.
No, it can't.
It can't.
I definitely cannot see this thing self-righting when it's upside down.
I can.
The only reason it was able to get itself backside up was because Matilda and Refbot ran into it.
That's true.
Yeah. Otherwise, you might as well just try and gyro back onto your wheels. And I'm looking at the wiki right now, and I'm looking at both Xylon and Falcon Mark II right on the same page, and aside from the flipper, they may as well be almost the same bot. Like, why would you have a heat that features 2 almost identical robots? Like,
I guess they were the leftovers, like the ones that they were right on the cusp of keeping.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like at least put some paint on one of them. I don't know, but yeah, if there's anything to say, if there's anything left to say, the driver Jason, he's a big dude. I wouldn't fuck with him. He's a basketball player or badminton. Who's afraid of a basketball player? Huh? I don't know.
Basketballs don't hold grudges.
I think mine does. No. But yeah, we'll get into the matches, starting off with this glorious first match.
This was fun. It's probably the best match on the show. It's very much a case where, like with the previous episodes, the first matches on the show were good, and then it all went downhill from there.
It's like the biggest problem with all three of these bots, like, they can't use their weapons at all. Xylon's flipper peeled in on itself. Tyrannobot really couldn't lift anything. Buzz eventually was able to get under Xylon and flip it over and knocked its own eyes off in the process. But it's like that one attack on Buzz flipping Xylon is pretty much what decided the fight. Because other than that, the rest of this was just like a ram fest.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't mind Ramfest. This one was at least entertaining.
Yeah, but Xylon ended up getting eliminated because they couldn't use the weapon at all. Tyrannobot kind of did. Kind of was able to bump into stuff. Buzz was
There was an attempt.
There was, but...
That is all we will say about that.
There was, however, no attempt in the second match. Bunny Attack versus Paul
what a
Bunyan
dumpster fire. I love it.
Oh, God. It says a lot when even Stefan Frank is burying this match. So far, we've just seen a series of very ineffective weapons.
Stefan Frank, you're exposing the business.
This match was a complete exposure of the business. You got like Falcon. Like, it started off really promisingly. Like, Falcon just gets under Bunny Attack and sends it to the flame pit, and yeah, burn Bunny, burn.
It was just neither robot could do anything. Falcon couldn't flip Bunny Attack. Bunny Attack couldn't kill Paul Bunyan, and Paul Bunyan. Do I need to say anything?
This was a miserable match.
In the words of Death Grips, it's a shit show.
Front row!
Ian, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, when you zoom in on Bunny Attack, you can see the label is still on the hammer. So they haven't done anything to
it. That is some Team Death level workmanship right there.
Bunny Attack, sponsored by Home Depot.
Where's Homer when you need him? Not Homer Simpson, the Home Depot mascot Homer.
Yeah, so...
I was thinking Homer who wrote the Odyssey to give us something more entertaining.
So, yeah, this match was a complete dough. And Bunny Attack was able to land some hits with the hammer. Yeehaw. And I guess the only other thing to note is Killalot came out, but then Refbot sent him back in. I have no idea why Refbot just doesn't use his yellow card system anymore. He used it a lot in season 1 and season 2.
I guess it's just a case of, well, we got to make these fights exciting somehow. Hey, Refbot, if you could just not use your red cards for this match, yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah. But Bunny Attack and Falcon got the wins. Paul Bunyan got the chop chop.
And the crowd goes mild.
So we'll move on to the round 2 fights. The first fight is a Nickelodeon All-Star match between Bunny Attack and Tyrannobot.
Oh, that's gonna put butts in the seats.
You know what? I expect, like, this should have been like a real, like, you have 2 robots that have all flammable materials on it. There should be fire everywhere. This should be like Dietor in that Series 10 match with Apollo, just flaming.
Or the Inferno Insurrection from Series 2
hell yeah.
with Rem Rombit.
No. Instead, Sergeant Bash was able to melt Tyrannobot's tail. Bunny Attack refused to catch on fire. Tyrannobot looked like they were having radio signal issues the entire time.
Yeah, it just kept dying. It's like starting up a car in the freezing weather. It starts up, then shuts down, starts up, stops, start.
And then
We call that-
Sergeant Bash just bites the jaw off, and then all of a sudden, Tyrannobot is working fine.
Depressing.
It's just a brick, but it still manages to just push it around, and then it's like I don't know. It's like a combination of Tyrannobot did push Bunny Attack a little bit, but Bunny Attack still kind of reversed right in.
Yeah. This match was such a dull fight.
It was a Nickelodeon Robot Wars match.
And as I said, in one of my actually this is an underrated Sergeant Bash moment.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of damage.
Oh my god!
Bash just chomps off Tyrannobot's jaw like, oh, you think you're the only Robot Wars lizard-looking robot that has a crushing jaw? Think again, bitch! Yeah.
We actually get to see. It's good to see Sergeant Bash actually get used really well, because first off, we barely see him in the Nickelodeon series. He's in like 5 matches, and he has no flamethrower. And here he
damn you, standards and practices.
But here he got to show off a bit. He lit up Tyrannobot's tail. He bit off the jaw. He just
yeah.
The only thing he didn't do was light up Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And of course, it ends with a like. How many robots have we seen in this series drive into the pit?
I don't
because this has to be a record.
Like every episode of this show, at least one robot has gone. I think only in Heat B is when all the bots didn't.
Well, if they're not familiar with it, then it makes sense that a lot of them are falling in. I think Bunny Attack's hammer was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
How does it work exactly? What kind of mechanism?
I think it's like driven by like a starter motor is what they said. It was a starter motor from a Chevy, and yeah, that just says it all, really.
Yeah.
Because we all know that Chevys are known for their durability.
To be fair, like Bunny Attack is a durable robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't break down.
No.
It didn't really buckle under pressure, unless you count its hammer falling off in Nickelodeon Robot Wars.
It's hammer time. Yeah, but yeah, I would have loved to see Bunny Attack in the Heat final just for the freak show aspects of it, but.
That would have been a fun match.
Yeah, but no. Tyrannobot just got the come from behind victory. So now,
so much for the Frayington representation, wherever that is.
Franked. I don't know. Maybe it's a town that somehow left the colony or something. Like, there's a lot of ghost towns in Pennsylvania. Maybe
yeah. Silent Hill's based off of a ghost town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but so we'll move on to the other second round match, and some people might argue, this is a match between the two best robots in the episode. Yeah,
nothing happened in this match. Just Falcon drove Buzz into the corner, and then all of a sudden Buzz ended up upside down.
I want to talk about that for a minute, because there's something I got to mention, and like we love to bury Robot Wars' editing. And I don't know what the heck happened here, but apparently Falcon pushes Buzz into Kilolot CPZ. We cut to a shot of Kilolot glaring at the camera, and then in the next shot, Buzz is just upside down and in Kilolot's jaws. What?
They really did not give one.
So let me get this straight, Robot Wars. You'll include time for the House Robot intro, but won't tell us what the hell happened to Buzz?
I guess they just didn't want to expose the business.
Because Repbot didn't out. Kilolot just put it in the pit. There isn't even much else to say about the match. Like, the match sucked. Falcon got stuck on this floor spinner again, because that floor spinner has just been an absolute liability this entire series.
If you want to see a floor spinner that works, the
Dragon Con one?
No, what I said. No, here's what I said. I think it would have worked, but just removed the teeth.
They did for Series 6, but it's like they had it down here for this series, and they had it for the Nickelodeon Series 2. And it's like, robots just keep getting stuck on it.
The point was supposed to be to ruin wedges, because
Well,
wedges are no fun.
well, it worked for Xylon, but other than that, robots just kept getting stuck on it. Stucky. And yet it's still not as bad as the Fog of War.
Yeah, nothing will beat the Fog of War for worst arena hazard.
So yeah, Falcon got the win. Buzz couldn't do anything.
Did you notice that Kill-Lot accidentally broke Bash's flamethrower when he was...
Oh, yeah, I saw it. It picks up Buzz, and you can hear this little clank, and you can hear just Sergeant Bash go, "Oi, watch where you're going, you wanker."
It's like Kill-Lot really has it out for Bash in this series, because just wait until the House Robot Rebellion episode. That's where shit really goes wrong between the House bots.
Hey, he had it out for Matilda in Series 4 when he took off one of her wheels.
You know what? Remember, Kill-Lot does have that wheel fetish. Yeah, so Falcon gets the win. Buzz gets buried. And speaking of buried, before we even talk about this final match, let's continue to bury the editing of this episode, because when they introduce both robots, they have the announcer announce Falcon, and out comes Tyrannobot. And then they introduce Tyrannobot, and out comes Falcon. Rinky dink!
Heck of a job!
Goodness gravy. So, the match itself, I will give Tyrannobot credit. It actually worked. Like the jaw did work in the last 10 seconds. But this match was mostly just Falcon, just pushing it around.
Yeah, just all Falcon. It was a nothing heat final. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't even remember any of it, and I just watched it.
There's only a couple things I know about this match. Tyrannobot has a new blue tail, which, yeehaw. Kill-Lot, we got a nice view from. We get the debut of the Kill-Lot cam, which shook all over the place. So, truly phenomenal camera work by Kill-Lot there. And then in the last 10 seconds, Tyrannobot was able to use the jaw to bite into Falcon's wedge, but then time ran out, and that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Bad final match.
Bad final match.
Bad episode. Holy moly. Ian, what do you think? Do you remember anything from this match?
I remember Tyrannobot almost turning it around at the end. Would have been a pretty good ending if Tyrannobot had dominated with those pincers. And
it probably could have been able to get right underneath the wedge, because look at the gap you can see right underneath Falcon's wedge. It could probably just run right into it and grab onto it. But no, Falcon was still able to get the lifter under it and lift it up, and that was it.
Yeah, and check plate armor I don't think is all that strong, so who knows? Maybe they could have crumpled it.
It's not Hardox. Yeah, so that was Heat H, the last heat of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors. Horrible episode. God bless all the bot builders, but they were it's a bunch of low tier bots put in the death.
Everything. This is everything wrong with Extreme Warriors in one heat.
And if there were any positives I can give to this heat, there are a couple highlights. Bash biting off Tyrannobot's jaw is one. The absolute hilariousness of Bunny Attack is another. And I can't think of anything else. So that's only two things I remember from this episode, and for that I give it a 2. I give it a 2 out of 10.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah. How about you, Ian?
I'm also going to. I mean, when Bunny Attack is carrying your heat, that is not great.
No. But this is the last heat of Extreme Warriors, because the next episode is the grand final. We have all the 8 returning heat winners: Panzer Mach 4, Rocky Botboa, the Conquering Clown. The Crown.
Do it over.
Hell no. I'm gonna call it the Conquering Crown now. I've been talking so long. The Conquering Clown, Propeller Head, Rosie the Riveter, Tricerabot, Destructive Criticism, and Falcon Mark II. We'll be reviewing all those that episode next week, and it should be a lot of fun. Of course, it's a lot of fun. I've seen the episode already, but I hope you guys enjoy it too. So let's so before I think let's do some I think we might as well talk about the heats as a whole. Like Nate, what did you think of Extreme Warriors heat wise?
The heats were relatively weak. Some good moments, but mostly just forgettable stuff. The good parts were good, but the bad parts ranged from forgettable to downright boring, and thus, to me, like it really shows what happens when you don't have the star power or engineering power.
Ian, what do you think of Extreme Warriors Season 2?
I'd say that there were 4 good heats and 4 so-so heats. I think that they demanded creativity, and that really made for overall good to look at cast. I think definitely they could have maybe spread out the talent a little better. Can you imagine if this heat had the Bat or the Revolutionist?
I think they definitely could have. It definitely would have helped if they had more variety of weaponed bots, because like looking at the heat winners, you have Rocky Bot Boa, who's just a brick. You have the 2 Jugger bots, who are essentially bricks, although Tricerabot more or less has the flipping tail to it. Panzer's a brick. The Clown, it has a weapon. It's not an effective weapon, but it at least has character to it. Destructive Criticism is definitely like the coolest looking in terms of weaponry, I guess. Propeller Head is just absolutely fun to look at, just how it just smacks into everything and crashes into everything, and it does some decent damage here and there. So yeah, the biggest problem I have, I think, with Season 2 overall, like I said, there weren't really that many big moments. Like there were no attacks on the house robots. There weren't like any big any big hits. I only recall like maybe once or twice we had John Reed good hits categories. Like I think Heat D was definitely the heat of good hits. Like you had like Propeller Head just smashing up Scramble, or Revolutionist taking out Snookums, Revolutionist taking out the wheels on Psycho Chicken and stuff. But yeah, I can definitely I can definitely see why Extreme Warriors is frowned upon. But there is some good news though, because now that we're approaching the last few episodes, like all the grand final and the special events are fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now. And so I'm definitely going to look forward to reviewing them, especially because the next episodes are the grand final, the Annihilator, the Tag Team Terror, the International Championship, and my phone is going off. Hang on.
Can't it go to voicemail?
Sorry, my phone went off. The next few episodes are the grand final, and then after that, it's the Annihilator, the Tag Team Terror, the International Championship, and the House Robot Rebellion. So, yeah, those are, I will say, those episodes do have some good moments, and I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing them. How about you? How about you guys?
I look forward to the better episodes of Extreme Warriors, aka the final few. Apparently those are supposed to be really good.
Yeah. How about you, Ian?
Yeah, I'd say that the special events have a lot more consistency to them. At least one good moment apiece.
Yeah. So next week we'll be reviewing the grand final, and we'll see who comes out on top. Until next time, I'm the Hardcore Kid.
I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm ResettisReplicas.
Peace out and cease.
I don't even have a sign-off quote for this one. That's how bad this episode was. Jesus! I can't wait for this to be over.
Jesus!